social anxiety is not fun. And it is even worse if you're a kid living in the fishbowl of life. I'm going to tell you what social anxiety is and how to help your kids. Stay tuned, that's what's up next. If you don't have social anxiety, you probably don't get people who have it. Because to have social anxiety is to have a lot of thoughts that other people just don't even think about. Sadly, I understand social anxiety a lot more than I'd ever want to because I struggle with it myself. So let me give you a little window into the world of a socially anxious person. Here are some thoughts. I just texted her about an hour ago and she still hasn't responded. I wonder if she's busy or if she's avoiding me. She's probably avoiding me because maybe she doesn't want to talk to me. Well, that's rude. Why wouldn't she want to talk to me? She seems as chatty when she's talking to me as she is with other people. She does seem to be more interested in talking to other people. Maybe I shouldn't have texted her. She probably doesn't like me. This is embarrassing. I just texted somebody who doesn't even like me. And it's been like maybe 45, 46, 47 minutes? I wonder if there's a way to take that text back. Do they have that technology? Just responded to me, but she's just doing it because she feels bad for me. It's a total sympathy text. I don't even want a sympathy text. Does this shirt look funny? Do you think that other people wear polka dots? I mean, I like polka dots, but not like all the time. What if they think like I'm a polka dotted kind of person and I'm really not a polka dotted kind of person? I do wear a lot of polka dots. People might perceive that I wear polka dots too much. Do you think people are going to think it's weird that I'm wearing polka dots? What if they see me in polka dots all the time and they think like, gosh, why is she so obsessed with polka dots? You know, I even have polka dots around my house. So if people come and visit, they're going to see a lot of polka dots. That might be a little bit weird. There are a few components that completely make up social anxiety. Self-consciousness, check. Doubt, check, check. Worry of criticism and judgment from others, check to the check, check, check. And a lot of paranoia, not in like the delusional schizophrenic paranoia, but in the social paranoia. Are they bored of talking to me? Are they all staring at me? Were they laughing at me? Am I like the brunt of the joke there? Are people avoiding me? Why are they all talking but no one's talking to me? Two big factors with social anxiety is feeling like you're being slighted, feeling like people are not liking you or are judging you, and also having some low self-esteem. That's a pretty big component of social anxiety. The number one rule to be part of the social anxiety club is avoid. I will avoid that party. I will avoid those social interactions. I'm going to avoid that text. I'm going to avoid talking. I'm going to avoid going to the lunchroom. I'm going to avoid all parties. Because if I can avoid, then I'm not going to feel slighted. I'm not going to feel rejected. I'm not going to have to deal with the insecurity that I feel when I'm in those situations, and then I'll feel better. Unfortunately, then we wind up avoiding a big chunk of life. And then we feel like we're the loners. Nobody talks to me. Nobody's involving me in their group chats. Nobody texts me. Nobody's inviting me to any parties. Nobody emails me. How come I'm not on Snapchat? How come I'm not at that party? How come I'm not in that Facebook group? How come you're not inviting me? How come you aren't talking to me? When in reality, socially anxious people create that for themselves. I get this because I do this all the time. We push people away because we're uncomfortable. We don't want to be in those situations, but then we feel rejected. Then we feel like we're not included. So it's a conundrum. It's a vicious, self-fulfilling prophecy that seems to always come true. So if you want to help your kids with social anxiety, it's not going to help them just to force them to go to these social situations, to go to these parties, to talk to people. The insensitive things that parents say when they don't get social anxiety are mind-blowing. Go talk to people. Have you ever made a new friend? Go up to people. Why don't you just ask them if they want to hang out? You need to get out more. You need to just go out. Things are easier said than done because if you have social anxiety, the fear of rejection is so palatable that to do any of those things seems insurmountable. So you have to take a step back and instead of just saying, go expose yourself to all these social interactions and then over time, you're going to feel better. Guess what? They're not. And I know because I am that person. You have to attack the thoughts before you attack the actions. And so you have to help your child realize a lot of different things. One, the world doesn't revolve around you. And I know that that's kind of hard to deal with, but it's not from a narcissistic perspective, but socially anxious people feel like it's all about them. And not in a good way, in a bad way. So first you have to attack your child's thoughts and say, you know what? The world is not always laughing at you. People aren't always staring at you. Social anxiety will make you paranoid. And so every time you have a socially anxious thought, you have to ask yourself, you have two buckets. Is this a socially anxious thought or is this a typical thought? Is this an accurate thought or is this my paranoia that is socially anxious? And if it's your paranoia, then you have to take a step back and look at it a second time and say, wait a minute, could there be an alternative reason why? Maybe she's not texting me back. Maybe she's busy. Maybe she's with her kids. Maybe she's at the doctor. Maybe she's not near her phone. There are a lot of other reasons why people are doing the things that they're doing besides slighting you. When you highlight these alternative perspectives to your children, that helps them start to identify what is a socially anxious thought and what is a regular thought. Because until they tackle those thoughts and are able to put them in categories, they're not going to do better. You want to teach your children to reevaluate every judgment and assumption they make from a social situation. Could there be an alternative besides the fact that they were criticizing you or laughing at you or judging you or rejecting you? Could there be possibly another alternative? Now, maybe sometimes there isn't, and then that's just in the reality bucket. But a lot of times it's going to be in the socially anxious paranoia bucket. Second, socially anxious people worry about holding and maintaining conversations. And so as we're having conversations, we're analyzing the conversation that we're having. You try doing that. That's hard. I don't know if she's interested. I'm talking to her, but she seems like she's looking away. Did she look away? Did she look away as I was talking? Is she bored? Did she check her watch? I don't think she wants to talk to me. I think that she doesn't seem engaged. What am I going to ask her? When she's done with her rambling, what am I going to say? Do I have anything to say? I'm so boring. I don't know what I'm going to say. Maybe we should just end this conversation. Maybe I should just walk away. In my office, I play this game called Conversation Ball, and I teach kids of all ages, even if they're really old, how to maintain a conversation. And I always tell people, just throw it back. If you don't know what to say, just ask them the same thing they're asking you and keep throwing it back. You can help as a parent if you just practice with your child. And it sounds stupid, but I do this with kids all the time, and it boosts their self-esteem and their self-confidence to maintain a conversation. So what did you do this weekend? What did you do this weekend? Did you see that movie? No. Did you see that movie? Did you do the homework? I did. Did you do it? You want to teach your child that they don't have to come up with creative ways to talk to kids. They can just bounce back the same conversation. At the same time that you're working on the way that your child is thinking, you also want to boost up their self-esteem and not care what other people think. Because when you don't care about what other people think, guess what happens? You don't care if they're slighting you. You don't care if they're being rude. You don't care if they're judging you. And that is a weight off your shoulders, and the social anxiety gets less because you don't really care anyway. So you could be socially paranoid, but even if you have those thoughts, you're kind of like, whatever. If they don't like me, I don't care. That takes a lot of work. And if you're a kid and you live in the kid fishbowl of school or high school, that's going to be really hard. But that doesn't mean you can't work on it. Model for your kids that you don't care. Wear something goofy, say something goofy, and show them that, you know what? You don't really care what the neighbors think. You don't really care what your best friend thinks. You don't really care what your relatives think. What's important is that you care about yourself. Talk to your child and really develop a foundation of who they are and who they want to be. Because the more confident your child is in who their identity is, the less they're going to depend on other people to define them. And when people aren't looking for other people to define them or give them validation that they're great, then they're going to have less social anxiety. Explain to kids that not everyone's going to like you. Some people are going to hate you just because you breathe. That's just reality. And you have to cope with that reality. And if you give that a lot of attention and time and analysis, you're going to live a very unhappy life. So who are you? What do you stand for? And some people aren't going to like what you stand for or who you are. But you have to start with liking yourself, as cheesy as that is. And once you don't care, Once you say, you know what, this is who I am. I'm a girl, I'm 15, and I like this band, and I want to do this when I grow up, and I like wearing this, and I like my hair like this. And for all the other girls who don't like that, I don't care. Because if you like me, you're going to like those things. And even if you don't like those things, if you're going to be my friend, you're not going to judge me. And so I talk to teenagers who have social anxiety and I say, you know what? Your real friends aren't going to judge you and criticize you. And if they would, you don't need them as friends. And so boosting that confidence will help diminish a little bit of that social anxiety. Because social anxiety doesn't care who you are. We want everybody to love us. We want everybody to not judge us. We want everybody to not criticize us. And unfortunately, that's impossible. And so once you empower yourself and say, you know what? Screw everybody. I love me and I don't really care. And if you like me, that's awesome and I'll hang out with you. But if you don't, I'm not going to stay up late at night obsessing about it. I'm done with that. Surviving social anxiety takes time, it takes power, it takes energy, and it doesn't go away. It's just one of those battles that you want to continually fight, and eventually you're going to feel like you're on top of it and it's not dictating or controlling your every move. If you're enjoying my videos, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. That helps my social anxiety. And leave a comment if you or someone you know is struggling with social anxiety and give them your best tips because we can all do this together. If you're liking my videos, I have new ones that come out every Thursday, and don't forget to hit subscribe and you can hear them. I also have a podcast and you can subscribe to the AT Parenting Survival Podcast. I'll leave a link below. I hope you find the sparkle in everything you do. Take care.